Today's horoscope from Astrocademy, Leo December 16, 2022. The moon heads into your sign, bringing color to your emotions. Still, today's transits tend to blur boundaries. There can be evasiveness in a relationship, or you may be dealing with dashed hopes or deflation if a situation, or someone, isn't pulling through for you as you'd hoped. While it's temporary, it makes sense to pay these feelings a little attention since they can show you areas of your life requiring some refreshment. Try not to self-soothe with lies. Instead, aim to give yourself and situations a bit of space. At the same time, avoid commitments or hard conclusions until you're in a clearer frame of mind. Something can trigger buried feelings, and while it can be frustrating, treating it as a chance to rid yourself of old resentments may be best. Tackling high expectations may be your first step. You might focus on a project or cause that genuinely inspires you. Today you will feel like you're gasping for oxygen, but it's been evacuated from your lungs. This is because the mighty sun, spinning within your solar fourth house of domesticity, will face off in a square with a sneaky Neptune across the sky in your solar seventh house of partnerships. This ensures you could experience a make or break moment in a significant connection, especially around home or family matters, or fall victim to someone who is simply manipulating you or trying to use and abuse you. For instance, if you've been awaiting news on a move, things may fall apart. If single, keep your wits about you because a lover that you meet may actually be a con man who is only out to rob you blind. What will you put first? Today might be kind of hectic as you figure out your professional and personal priorities with the moon in your sign as the sun in Sagittarius squares Neptune in Pisces. There might be some issues with some of your commitments and partnerships, especially if you do not have time to meet each other head-on throughout your workday. Since the lunar energy could amplify your nervousness, you will have to be mindful of not letting your stress spike. Erect strong boundaries to maneuver your workday with a clear itinerary in mind. While the moon's clash with Saturn in your work sector yesterday was the fleeting and familiar check that you get each month when it comes to knowing when to keep your work hat on and when to take it off, the timing couldn't be better. In the heart of not just the working week but with planetary activity on the job and career fronts accelerating rather than slowing down, this has been a reminder of just how important circuit breakers can be. Today you may want two opposite things at the same time: a good workout followed by some chocolate cake. Crazier things have happened. The planetary alignment impels you to desire comfort and security, your usual routine, comfort from approval and other good feelings, on one hand, yet on the other, you think it would be erotic and fun to stay up late and do things that give immediate, sinful pleasure. The challenge is to find the middle ground and suspend judgment. Ideally, this would be a day off where you could get your family rounded up and out for some fun times. The essence of this day will certainly encourage this kind of activity, but if you do have work that has to get done, perhaps you could make some arrangements for this evening. Keep in mind that it is not only the amount of time you have to spend, but also the quality of it. An hour of real connection and heartfelt laughter is much better than 6 hours of watching television. The moon returns to Virgo every 4 weeks, with these monthly visits a valuable chance to check in and become more emotionally and intuitively engaged. The difference this time is that this isn't just the moon's last visit for the year but before the dwarf planet Ceres leaves in 4 days, giving you a window into her first deep dive into personal needs and priorities in 4 years. At a time when life is not only busy but there is a lot of focus on your relationships, this is a chance to ask, what about me? While the moon's last visit to Virgo for the year is a chance to check in and to become more emotionally and intuitively engaged, today this is giving the spirit of romance and matters of the heart a boost. The moon is not only here in the heart of Venus and Mercury's first full week in your romantic sector but forms a friendly aspect to both the planets of love and communication today. Our eyes in the sky. Themes today revolve around passion, activity, optimism, and the way energy moves. Be aware of your personal boundaries, and remove yourself from any situation in which people don't respect your thoughts or voice. Confusion could hang fairly thick in the air, so try not to get immersed in situations that don't make sense to you. Watch out for gaslighting behavior in yourself and others, and don't let anyone invalidate your feelings with conversational gymnastics. Intensify contacts to people, because they find you particularly likable right now. Plan your leisure time with family and good friends, and most importantly, make your plans together. You might feel like ringing up an old friend. The time is perfect to revive and strengthen old ties. This will make it easy for you to make new contacts and maybe even lifelong friendships. You may feel that others are acting unusually. You must quietly accept their conduct and not get upset if things temporarily don't go your way. Maybe you're more irritable and easily upset by things that have not mattered for a long time, or possibly the answer is just a simple case of getting some much-needed rest. The desire to break free from restrictive situations is real today, and you might have trouble focusing on tasks at work or school. Remember to ground yourself and focus on your breath if you feel overwhelmed. Use the energy today to set your intention to pursue your wildest dreams, but don't take any drastic action now. The lunar energy can be unpredictable and unstable, so expect the unexpected today and try not to let people or situations get the better of you. After midnight, the moon enters Virgo, exiting its void of course which began yesterday morning. During this lunar period, we achieve emotional equilibrium via organizational or logistical efforts. We want our lives to run as efficiently as possible, and are attracted to systems that mitigate stressors. Over the next 2 days, we look for ways to be of service to others. This can be a very productive time, ideal for decluttering our surroundings and getting routines in good working order. However, with such high standards, we can also be especially critical of others and ourselves. Whatever you take on seems to work out well, and everyone who you come into contact with admires the enthusiasm and expertise you show, giving a welcome boost to your self-confidence. Make sure you respect those who admire you and don't behave in an egotistical way. You may still need their continuing support if things do not turn out as expected. Go out and enjoy life to the full. You exude an inner calm and spontaneity that others find irresistible, so join in activities with them. Start a new hobby or visit an old friend. Whatever you do, reflect and find out what's been on your mind. Unable to connect with others as easily as normal, you feel misunderstood, deciding those around you are behaving unacceptably. It is important to allow some distance between you, rather than have endless discussions. Incorporate their point of view and feelings, which ultimately enhances your relationship. After sunup, the Sagittarius Sun squares off with Neptune in Pisces, facilitating self-deception. We might feel guilty, ashamed, or paranoid about actions taken, even if they don't warrant such scrutiny. As our self-esteem takes a nosedive, those with malicious intent recognize our vulnerable state and may seek to exploit it. We risk placing our faith in bad actors and becoming gullible to their schemes. If possible, avoid making deals or important decisions today. Steer clear of mind-altering or addictive substances. Expect misunderstandings or misdiagnoses. This is a better transit to use for artistic or creative experimentation than spiritual studies or divinatory practices.